If there's one thing Tesla fans have always complained about regarding their company, it has to be their deadlines. The company seemed to have developed a habit of releasing cool fan art, huge specs and footage, maybe even a prototype, and then, poof, the car would be gone and the people would be left waiting. However, just last month, the company held an employee meeting, and in that meeting, we received confirmation of a bunch of new projects. And not just that, all of them are pointing toward one special thing: the fact that 2023 will be the year of Tesla. So if you're interested in finding out more about this keynote, their new announcements, what exactly we can expect from these announcements, and where the company is headed in general, tune in because we have a whole load of news for you. Now with that out of the way, let's jump right in. Background. If you go a decade back and try to find out about Tesla from your average layman, you will get nothing but a blank stare or random tidbits about the old scientist. However, in just a short period of time, the company has gone from a low-volume gimmick company to a full-on trendsetter. And with multiple factories and 4 cars selling out before a shipment is even delivered on a regular basis, the company doesn't seem to want to stop anytime soon. And the very latest meeting that the company held regarding their direction is just the confirmation we needed. And not just that, while other press conferences and presentations have a habit of making stuff look like more than what it actually is, this meeting is a little different from others, since instead of it being a press conference, it's actually an employee conference. What that means is that the stuff said in it is actually done so in a serious mood and has a lot more credibility. Now, with the context established, let's take a look at the news, which is mostly in the form of reports and tweets from inside the conference, which basically gives us a word-by-word recreation of what went on. And although there is a ton to unpack, there are 3 announcements that are of special interest to us. Those being the not 1, not 2, but 3 cars that Tesla wants to unveil in 2023. And with a lot happening in the world, Tesla's new self-driving software, new factories, bigger sales numbers, and it is just generally a prime time to be the biggest EV manufacturer in the world. And so, it is not surprising that the company plans to ride the high wave onto victory. So with that cleared up, here's the first main car. 1. Cybertruck. Now I hear all of your cries of revulsion, and yes, the Cybertruck is kind of old news now. But technically speaking, we still don't know much about the actual truck in real life. And with the now iconic presentation fail, it was obvious that the car was still at that point very much a prototype. And the actual thing coming out is not going to be small news. And well, quite appropriately, we do have some actual juicy news on that. See, the biggest thing that separates the Cybertruck from the other Tesla cars is the body, which unlike aluminum for the others, is made up of steel in the truck, allowing more strength and general toughness. And because of that, the company had to wait a while to release it since they just don't have enough steel. But along came SpaceX with their own need of a steel factory for their Starship rocket, and you have Elon pooling in money to make a steel plant. And that's great news for Tesla as well as SpaceX, because that basically means greater efficiency in building, shipping, and all that good stuff. And apart from the steel factory itself, we also have the Gigafactory in Texas, which is also starting to come into its own. And why is that relevant, you ask? Well, it's because it's the place the truck will actually be made. And with the steel plant expected to start working in late 2021 and Cybertruck to start production by 2022, as listed by its official site, it's pretty much confirmed that you will start to see the iconic "if Neo had a truck," as said by Elon, on the streets. 2. Tesla Model 2. Now, here's the thing. Elon Musk, and by extension Tesla, has for quite some time had only one main goal: to make EVs the main source of transportation. And to do that, they've been gunning to release a small form factor, low-cost vehicle that'll be their proper entry into their desired market. And it's just a simple fact that no matter how great your high-end sales are, the actual cars that sell are the Corollas and the Ford Focuses of the world. And that's exactly what the company wants to make with the Model 2. If you want to know more about this car, we made a video about it. I let you watch it on the channel. So before we get into more detail though, did you know that the Model 2 is not the car's official name? Many people think that since the Model 3 already exists, it makes sense for them to make a Model 2. However, the Model 3 name was accidental. The reason being that Elon wanted the name Model 3 for his grand scheme of Model S, Model E, Model X, and Model Y. However, that name was already copyrighted by Ford, so he had to go by the name of Model 3. Anyway, weird tangent aside, although the car is the ultimate goal, and with the 4680 battery and the Giga Shanghai factory underway, there are decent chances of it happening. Not just yet, because it is still very much in development, but just how far is this something that varies from person to person. Another good indicator besides the technology and the manufacturing is the image revealed in the form of an official sketch that allegedly is of the upcoming car. As the sketch shows, the car belongs to the newer Model 3 and Model Y style, with soft headlights and a very futuristic look. And that conveniently brings us to the last important part regarding this car: self-driving. See, Tesla is not just concerned about people driving their cars. In fact, in the long term, they want no one to drive their cars because they want all their cars to be fully self-driving. And well, as it turns out, the single biggest expected feature of this car will actually be the lack of features. Because in the aforementioned conference, according to Elon himself, the car may actually feature the first big attempt by Tesla to make a completely autonomous vehicle. You see, although there were plans to make a Model Y with no steering wheel, they just didn't come to fruition. But with the version 10.1 of Tesla's autopilot system on the way, along with an extensive beta program, I don't think it's a stretch to say that the first instance of a completely autonomous car might be the Model 2. For God's sake, we have even had an image of one such car all the way back. How exciting is that? And the absolute icing on the cake has got to be this quote that was taken right out of Elon's address to the employees regarding the future of the company and the Model 2. The CEO plainly asked, "Do we want to have this car come with a steering wheel and pedals?" And so that's the Model 2, Tesla's final big nail in the coffin of all sorts of old cars. And the exact details, like the year of release, remain a little smudged, as Tesla is known for being secretive about any concrete plans they have. I personally believe that the car is somewhere in the late development cycle, and if all goes to plan, you can expect to see it as soon as 2023. So let's keep our fingers crossed. 3. Robovan. First a truck called Cybertruck, and now a Robovan. Man, I love this company. Still, geekiness aside, the Robovan is one of the more elusive of Tesla's projects. However, that does not mean that it is not a likely contender for the year 2023. You see, there is a long time running rumor among Tesla fans about Elon and his company developing large-scale public transportation as its behind-the-scenes project. And while there have been numerous indicators of that in the past, with Musk confirming all the way back that a Tesla van was extremely likely to happen, although he didn't specify when exactly. However, there are two things that make us think that it's coming, namely what we hear at the conference, and secondly, the new self-driving tech. As for the latter, the conference has probably been the biggest revelation, and the fact that not only do they plan to make it, but they also intend to have it be specialized for people with disabilities. This ties perfectly into the next point, which is that Tesla will most probably not make their van drivable. Instead, it will act as a perfectly autonomous vehicle that will take up duties of public transportation all over the country. From giving easy rides to the elderly and children to just being a good way to commute, this van will be the first foray of the company into public vehicles. Still, despite all of that, a lot remains to be said, and we'll be sure to give you news of any updates as soon as we get them. Well guys, that was a very brief summary of what Tesla has been up to all this time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like, and I'll see you next time.